welcome to another episode of Homemade Live. And today we are celebrating going local, all right? What does that mean, eating local? I think we can all agree that when you buy food that's closer to home, it's gonna taste better. It's not only gonna taste better, it's better for the environment, right? Imagine a piece of broccoli that's in your backyard versus one that is millions of miles away. I guess that would be space broccoli, but you get the idea. The closer to home, the less impact on our environment, the more we support our local community, and I promise you, the better it will taste. So today is dedicated to that. Give it up for going local. Now for our first bite, we're gonna make a local herb-crusted rack of lamb. You guys are gonna love this, all right? So step one is the rack of lamb, all right? For a celebration, for getting family together, friends together, I think it's a home run. I just think it's one of those things that looks really impressive. It's actually really easy to rock out at home. It doesn't take a lot. So we have this beautiful rack of lamb, and you can see on this rack, we have the bones kind of sticking out. This is called a French rack of lamb, where you actually take out a little bit of this middle part. You can talk to your butcher, which we're gonna do in a minute here, and they will do that for you if you're not comfortable, but I promise you, even you can do that. So it's not that big of a deal. And the first step to this rack of lamb is you wanna season it a lot. Now this is true with cooking meat in general. When you salt from up high, sprinkle that salt. I love a lot of pepper on this too. Like I wanna make a mess with the pepper, and then I take this lamb, because it's still a little bit wet, and I like stamp it and just like soak up all of this stuff. I've got a pan here that's going nice and hot, good amount of olive oil. So I pick it up, fat side down, and I just kind of lay it right in there. And you just kind of let that sear, all right? Easy, we can all do that? Yes? It's salt and pepper, people. All right, I think we can do salt and pepper. So I do want to call it, I did bring something. This is my real life, okay? This is my shopping list from last week. We had a huge celebration, and I do this no matter what, but especially if we're having people over, the best thing that you can do when you're shopping, local, whatever it is make a plan. If you want to be thoughtful about your ingredients, treat them with respect, showing up to the grocery store without a plan, that's an anxiety attack on a platter for me, okay? You need to kind of know, okay, what is gonna be the center of the table, especially if you're having people over? What's gonna be that hero centerpiece? Do I have rack of lamb here? Do I need herbs? Do the kids need milk? Like, what's going on? Taking a pause at home and making a plan, prioritizing your ingredients will make sure that you don't waste food on the back end. And tips like this, we love this resource. Use foodwell.org, so check it out, we love it. More to come right there, so check that out. This is my plan, it's going away right now. It's been done, it's been done. All right, so lamb is searing, okay, oven's on. Once this gets kind of brown, I'm gonna roast it in the oven. But I did call out that one of the best things you can do when you shop local is to make friends locally, and it supports the community, but it also empowers your cooking. So we made a friend. This is Ben from Don and Joe's. Give it up for Ben. We teach a lot of meat classes here at Homemade, and we go up to Pike Place Market, where your butcher counter is, and you are the new owner.
Yes, sir.
Of this unbelievable establishment. So you are a butcher. I'm gonna chop up some herbs for this lamb, but I want you to talk about, how do you source locally? Why does that matter to you as a butcher?
When you're shopping with small farms, they tend to do things the same way over and over again.
Yeah.
When you're buying directly from local farmers, your meat's not sitting in a warehouse for several weeks or months at a time. It tastes much fresher, and you have more time to work with it and get it where you want it once it actually lands in your kitchen.
Yes, absolutely. And real quick, back to our lamb situation here. I'm just gonna give it a quick flip. You just wanna get a little bit of color on that. Do you guys see that? I'm gonna hold that up. Looks like a smiley face. All right. Just a little bit of color, and then it's gonna go into an oven to finish. I've chopped up tons of fresh herbs. I've got mint, parsley, beautiful thyme. But I thought it'd be fun, because this is what I do, and I kind of had to learn this skill. Like locally, when you go and meet a butcher, having this conversation. So I might walk into your butcher shop, and I might not know you, and I would just be like, hey, I'm making a rack of lamb. I don't know how much to buy for my dinner tonight. Can you help me?
And that's a great place to start. You should let your butcher know where kind of you are in the process of planning. Sometimes you're gonna walk up and you're gonna have nothing in mind, and you're gonna be looking for what's looking good on the counter, and that's one conversation you can have with your butcher. Other times like this, you've got something very specific you're looking to do, and kind of giving whoever's helping at the counter an idea of what that is will really help you select the right cut for your needs.
Yeah, and you might ask me, you might say, well, what else is on the menu?
Yeah,
Maybe you'll like this cut instead, right?
Yeah, what are you serving with? And a big question you're gonna wanna answer before you get there is, how do you wanna cook? Are you interested in doing a braise or more of a pan roasting like we're doing today?
Grilling, like what's going on?
Are you grilling? So the method for which you are planning on cooking will have a lot to do with what you choose to cook in the long run.
Thank you, Ben.
Of course.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, anytime.
Meet your local butcher. They're cool. They're cool. All right. So I'm going to slide this lamb to the side, but you can imagine this goes into the oven and does its thing. And I just want you guys to see, this only takes about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in the oven. You can see it's not very different, right? It's roasted, it's cooked through, and you want to let it cool for maybe like 2 minutes or so. And this is a really cool trick. You pick up this lamb and you paint it with mustard. Good mustard. Find local mustard if you can. But you want to just pick it up, and like my kid can do this, who's 3, just let him slather mustard over this. And again, you kind of want to do this when this lamb has cooled for a sec, right? Then what I do is I take these herbs and I zest a little lemon in there. If you like a little heat, I'm obsessed with Aleppo chili. This is like a sweet, rosy heat. It's not too hot, but it's really nice if you can find it. And then you take your lamb and you kind of just roll it right in, and you're left with just this crust, and you can kind of just press in. Isn't this beautiful? Yeah, I mean, like, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Unbelievable. This, to me, I think is so impressive. Ben, you would serve this?
Absolutely.
Would you guys serve this at home? Yeah, I think we've done enough. So, I might take half and kind of have it there as the display. And this, to me, is a celebration lamb, local lamb, and it is absolutely to die for. Give it up for that. Unbelievable. So good. I love it. Well, speaking of local, food and medicine go hand in hand. You guys know me. You know I really believe that. I caught up with a local doctor to talk about it, so take a look. Okay, so we are making a cancer rehabilitation friendly meal, and we've got from Swedish, Dr. Aber. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm happy to be here.
So what do you specialize in?
So cancer rehabilitation is its own subspecialty in supportive care.
Okay.
It focuses on rehabilitating the side effects of chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and then a lot of help in survivorship.
I love it. Well, we're making a protein-packed kind of poke bowl here. So we're adding some honey, some tamari into this, and then we've got some mayo and mustard. And I think, I don't know, when people hear that they have a diagnosis, how do you get people past that hurdle?
I feel like a lot of people in their lives, especially now, feel like they are trying to restrict what they eat. You have to think about what's supporting you,
Yes.
as opposed to what are you trying to cut out.
Which I totally agree with. And by the way, another thing that I hear from amazing doctors, eating colors.
Of course. There's actually research that looks at lots of different individual nutrients. I tell people, look, all this research can be summarized as what's pretty colors.
Well, do you want to go with a base there?
Well, I'm definitely gonna use some edamame because
Yes.
you know, the beans are so good for fiber and protein and so yummy.
Love that. Well, I'm gonna take a little bit of this dressing. This is the easiest little bowl, and whether you know someone who's going through cancer rehabilitation or have gone through it yourself, this is a win. Thank you, Dr. Aber. You were awesome. Let's dive into this.
Thanks for having me. This looks great.
Okay, cheers. Today, it's all about local, and we could not go local without bringing in a local chef, but I will say, you might know him as a top chef. 3 times James Beard finalist. This guy is amazing. Give it up for Chef Shota Nakajima.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Come over here.
You ready to cook some food today? You hungry?
Top chef in our kitchen, baby.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
All right.
All
We're
right.
gonna get into Bravo, Top Chef. I mean,
it.
this guy is all over the place, but I do want to ask you, since this is the local show, what does local mean to you as a chef?
Local means supporting the community.
Yeah.
Being part of us, right? We live in such a small area together.
Yeah.
And the more we support each other, the chefs support the local farmers, the local, everyone, and it just works together.
Yeah, it totally
Building an
does.
economy together.
And you start to see it. Well, you start to see it. I mean, like, you wonder why Seattle has such a vibrant restaurant community. It's because we support these local chefs. We've got amazing vendors, artisans, makers, and it's because we show the support. If we stop, they go away. So absolutely, and you're a product of it. I mean, you're from Seattle. We'll get into it. But you're going to show us one of your favorites. You're making your
Katsu Sando. So the first thing we're gonna do is, I like the flour. The pork is already salt and pepper.
Okay. These are pork cutlets.
Pork cutlets.
And then you just dredge it, and then what's this mixture?
This is, I like doing a little tempura batter.
What?
I know, right? And why is because it has that baking powder and it makes it kind of fluff up a
That
little
just
bit.
actually turned my brain into mush. That is insane. You're dredging in tempura batter and then panko. Okay.
And then panko.
Genius. You said that you were one of the first in America to kind of bring this Katsu Sando.
Well, I'm not gonna say I'm the first in America. You know, I will say though, I started it in 2015. It was one of my bar items. It became really popular. I was getting a lot of local press. After that, I started to see a lot of Sandos shops.
He started it. He started it. I love it. I see that you're really patting it in.
I do. So I really like to smash that panko into
Okay,
it so
okay.
that batter stays solid. If I do have time, I actually like to let it air dry like this overnight.
okay.
Because it really makes it kind of stick and crust on.
Adhere to it. Okay.
One thing is the first temperature is a little bit lower.
Okay.
And why you do that is when you cook anything like shrimp or anything at a high temperature, what it does is it makes it really tight and kind of curl up. When you think about sous vide,
Yep.
it stays soft because you're cooking it at that soft temperature. So it's that
It
same
doesn't
idea.
like shock it into a crazy shape.
Yeah, so that's
Got
the
it.
same idea of the katsu, of cooking it at a lower temperature.
Love it.
Making the fiber solidify at a lower temp
Yes.
so it doesn't get tight. And then one thing about like Japanese, how people think about these fried items from tempura to katsu, it's actually a steam dish. So it's completely battered, and if it's coated inside, the moisture doesn't escape. So inside, it steams it properly. So it's like
so juicy. It's so
Super
juicy.
juicy.
Give it up for the juicy inside. I love that. I love that. I also want to say for someone like me who, like for me, I'm avoiding deep frying right now. You could probably air fry this.
Air fry it,
and it would be awesome. So just things like that, little tweaks like that. But as we move over here, I'm starting to see the bread. I know that your family, like they were professional chefs, or what were they?
So my mom's side is actually from a baker family. My grandpa's bakery's been around for 80 years, and he's been doing shokupan.
Where is this?
It's in Tokyo.
Whoa.
He's been doing shokupan his
So
entire life.
Talk about shokupan, like this bread, right?
This bread. This bread.
We don't need to talk about it. We'll show it. If you see this bread, it is the pillowiest, softest, fluffiest, lightest. I don't know. It's the perfect sweetness. And you just grew up on this, basically?
I grew up on it. I mean, when I visit Japan, it's 5 a.m. We start to smell this from upstairs because everyone lives upstairs from the bakery.
I love that.
So my mom grew up like selling flyers during Christmas season to sell cake and, you know,
That's
that
insane.
whole jazz.
And then you just like fell into it? How did you start to get into it?
You know, I think for me it was really trying to, I guess, make my parents happy.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we all want to just please our parents.
Let's get deep. Yeah.
So this one time when I was 12, I'm just joking.
No, we can go there. Yeah.
No, I grew up in a family. My parents absolutely love food. So even while we eat food or eat dinner, we're talking about what we ate, what we want to eat.
I'm the same.
And I think that's kind of naturally how
Yes.
I grew up. So feeding them delicious food, cooking for them, just kind of turned into a language.
Yeah, but you had like an inflection point when you turned like 16 where you started to do it professionally, right? Like what happened?
Actually, long story short, I couldn't find a job. Oh, I stopped going to high school.
Okay.
And I couldn't get a job. I applied at Macy's,
Yeah.
Zoomies,
Yeah.
PacSun.
What is up with you, Macy's, Zoomies, and PacSun?
Come on,
Look at this
I'm
man.
a hard worker.
Look at this stud. Yeah.
But no one hired me, and my best friend Kosuke at the time was like, hey, that Japanese restaurant, if you're Japanese and you speak Japanese, they'll hire you. So I went in, got a job. I started washing dishes and peeling onions.
That is pretty sweet, and that all led to this.
All led to this.
Give it up for that. That's so.
Who knows? I could have been like a big fashion dude.
I mean, yeah, you could have been a big fashion guy. I love it. All right, so the pork has been going. Should we take it out now?
We're gonna take it out and let it
Oh my
rest.
gosh, that looks insanity.
So the beauty of it is like sometimes you'll see katsus that'll like curl up when you fry it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not curling up as much because we're cooking it at a lower temperature. So it stays a little bit more
kind of flat.
Yeah.
That's so, I never knew that. Let's crank the heat, right?
We're gonna crank the heat up. The idea is when you fry ingredients, you cook ingredients. When you first cook it and let it sit, the moisture starts to steep out. So the moisture is gonna start coming out of here. And the idea about double frying is you cook it under at the first one, so the pork kind of cooks at that low temperature.
Right, yeah.
Let that moisture come out and let it rest for a few minutes.
Okay.
And then drop it back in. So that moisture that's going to be coming out gets evaporated at that point, so it stays crunchy and crispy for a long time.
Insanity. And this is why he's a top chef. I love it. Now, speaking of Top Chef, you're in all these competition shows. I want to dig into it, but I thought you're on my show. And
I am on your show. I'm in your field.
I thought, listen. If you're into competition, I was an athlete in college. I know how to throw down. You just said that you got into onions. That's what your first job was in a restaurant?
Yep, peeling onions and chopping them.
I say we throw down right now. Who can chop these onions faster, me or you? Should we do this? All right, you get over here.
Oh. How are we chopping this? Are we going super thin, or are we doing
just
like
slice. Just slice.
Just slice. Okay.
Okay, we got timer going. All right. We got timer. Guys,
All right,
give us a
who's
little
ready?
clapping. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm so scared. No one's crying yet. Woo. Oh my gosh. I will say these sharp knives are saving our eyes. Woo! All right, I'm almost there. No! 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 I think I won this one. No! Come here, buddy.
I got a little serious there.
This is what stood in the way of Top Chef royalty.
Doing this for 20 years.
Gosh, oh my God, so much fun. Give it up for Shota, that was amazing. I love it. Now, all right, so at this point the oil is back hot and my heart is a little bit beating out of my chest. That was
I'm
insane.
glad we didn't slice anything.
I know. I got all 10, just making sure. Well, see, I think we should drop this in. You ready? So I'll drop this in. It's in hot oil. Now, speaking of anxiety, I know that you actually were in a mental kind of rough time. Like Top Chef kind of came at a great time for you. Is that right?
It did. It came at an incredible time. I had a restaurant called Naka Adana back in the day, 2015 to 2020.
Okay.
I closed it March of 2020.
Okay.
Mainly because I signed a lease to build my first from concrete, like from scratch building in 2018, and then finished building that in March of 2020.
Oh God.
So we shut it down, and right at that timing, Top Chef called me, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and they were like, the grand prize is $250,000, and I said, okay,
What time do I be there? Yeah,
when
exactly.
and where do I need to be there?
I mean, it's those things, you hear it from all different types of careers, all different life paths, but something brought you there. And Shota, you've brought us so much energy, so much inspiration when you're on these shows. I'm so glad that you're not just in a restaurant, that you're on stage for all of us, because you're a total inspiration. So it worked out for all of us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. While that's frying, can I just say, this is your soy sauce? What is this? Is this your sauce?
So I use my teriyaki sauce as the base because my teriyaki sauce has garlic powder, sesame paste, all the ingredients that I love.
All right, so this is out. This is now resting. We have our sauce. We have 4 billion pounds of
I know, we need to clean up the onions before.
Onion mess, but this is live TV. This is how we do it. So what is the next
Should we
step
just
in
make a
building
quick
this?
French onion soup on
I know,
the side?
literally.
Yeah.
This is what you would make, yeah. So what's next step to the sandwich?
The next step is actually going to start building it already, or we can make
Let me just move this over, yeah.
I know, right? So we're gonna first put our Sandos down, and then this is a slaw that we made.
Yeah.
Slaw, a little bit of salt. I like to do 2% salt.
Okay.
Let it sit and kind of squeeze that moisture out.
Okay.
And then toss a little bit of mayo. I prefer Japanese Kewpie mayo.
Oh, so good. You guys know the little squeezy bottle? Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna toss this in the sauce.
In there. This is
We're gonna
nutty.
just lather it
This,
in the
dude,
sauce.
this, I remember when you had this sandwich and this, and people went crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. Look at this. Isn't that insane? Get out of here.
So the one thing about Sandos is you have to lightly press it.
Okay.
Let me see which side I put it on. All
I
right.
love it.
Look at that. Look at that
That's
thick
so
sandwich.
good. You want this puppy?
Yeah, I will. But the one thing is, like, you want to let it mold, so not too much pressure till you smash it, but you kind of want to let it, like, lightly press it from both sides.
Can I just say, like, these moments, these 30-second moments at home of pressing this sandwich, the little steps of double frying, these little things make such a big difference. They all add up, and you're seeing just a genius at work here. I mean, I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
So we're gonna just cut the crust
Oh
off.
my gosh. Get out of here, dude.
And then it's really important to keep that 90 degrees. And if you get sauce, make sure you wipe your hands, because if you touch it, now you have sauce on the side, and it just doesn't look as good.
This looks so freaking good.
I'm gonna do thirds. I'm gonna do
Yeah, do
classic
thirds, do
yeah.
thirds.
You made me
looks
nervous
so
with the
good.
the live TV situation. It's like, you're right.
Can we please hold up this cross section for people? This
Yes,
looks
absolutely.
insane. You guys have to see this.
As Japanese as I get, I'm gonna use chopsticks to plate a sandwich.
Wow. You gotta hold that up. Hold that up. That is insane. You guys.
Japanese fried
I
cutlet.
mean, that's a sandwich made for a king. And I did want to show, I know a lot of people, you know, they follow this show, they follow me, they know I've gone through a big health transformation. So I actually took his recipe, a lot of inspiration, and I turned it kind of
Love
into
that.
a salad. So if that's your thing, you can do that. But I'm gonna try this because I got the man. You ready?
Look how juicy the pork is, too.
Okay, dude, I'm looking.
Can I just cheers with you on this?
Yes, we should absolutely cheers. I love it.
Cheers, such a pleasure for
You're
today.
the
Thank
best,
you.
buddy. Get out of town. My glasses almost fell off on that one. Chef Shota, you are the man. Thank you for
Thank
showing
you
me
so
the
much.
best sandwich of all time. We'll be right back with more Homemade Live. It's been amazing. We've cooked up local ingredients, talked to local superstars, had a local amazing chef, and now we have to end on a local cocktail, of course. This is, I mean, why wouldn't we? This is local gin, so local botanicals. These are, yeah, unbelievable stuff. So local botanicals, and we're gonna go with just a couple of ounces of this right in to a glass. This is called the local honey bee's knees. That's going right in. And then I've got, of course, local honey, which when you get local honey, it's kind of like wine. You taste the terroir, you taste the kind of where the honeys are feeding off of, those flowers. So that's going right in. And then some lemon juice. And you just shake this all up, really simple. You can even throw a couple lemon wedges in there. And just those kind of three ingredients. Again, when you go kind of really source things really well and local, they just taste so much better. You don't need so much extra. You just kind of take off the lid and you just kind of pour those in, and it's this kind of gorgeous, light, just effervescent, perfect kind of spring, summery vibe. We have actual local flowers that you can eat. These are like little flowers that you can kind of just float in there. Just little bits like this. I think it's really pretty, really different. This is what it's all about, people. Go in your backyard, check out the neighborhood, walk into a store, introduce yourself to someone, because your community and your food is gonna thank you in the end. Go local. Cheers. Wow, that is really good.